Hello, all. This is Mike Williams, just coming at you at this end of the year of 2020 and, reaching down, just trying to find words that maybe can make somewhat sense to what we've all felt, been through, and still going through. It has been a trying year. Don't let anybody try to tell you any different, including me. This is a time of year when we're used to, hey, let's have a party. Let's have a get together. Let's have family and friends over. Let's have some beverages. Let's just get that cheerful feeling as to we wind down a year in preparation for the next year. Our families, our friends, our coworkers, our managers that we work with and depend on. This is a time of year we normally come together and we embrace each other. It's kind of difficult to do this year. It's almost impossible in most areas. All of us have been forced with that. I go back to some things I was told by a wise person was, there's things in this world that we can control. There's things that we can't. Think about it as 3 buckets. That first bucket is things that you can control. Things that you have that ability to make a change to, or maybe make it work the way it's needed. Make an adjustment here or there, but that's your control. That's what you have. That's what drives you to succeed. Then there's that one middle bucket that's kind of in between. It's one that you can influence. We cannot control COVID or coronavirus. It's all the same. We just they like to use different words, but we can't control that. We can influence it. So that bucket's kind of an influence. What I mean by influencing is we can make changes in things that we do, our behaviors that maybe help everyone stay a little safer until they figure this thing out. This is not a simple swap of a computer or a program or software change that we can get out of this pandemic. This affected the whole world. It didn't just land on one part of the soil and not the others. It's there. We can influence that part where we can. That other bucket of the 3, things we cannot control. There's nothing I can do. Even if I get mad at the person on the TV telling me something I don't want to hear, telling me another order in which I cannot do my normal life anymore. I cannot control that. I worry about the bucket that I can control and the bucket that I can influence to have some sort of maybe change. And we could carry that into how we work with each other going into 2020. This is one phenomenal team that's just no other OEM has close to the manpower and the horsepower that we have when we're hitting on all cylinders. There's not even close. Our training group as a whole network, developers, trainers, those that take that developed material and to the end result, the technician or the customer. Those managers that support us and give us the tools and resources that we need, fight for things for us that keep us satisfied as far as our jobs and our financials, and they look out for us. That is one big happy family. Down to the admin team, archangels, and all these people that make things happen for us, is we're one team. For us corporate guys, it's Jeanette that just makes us, she holds us together a lot of times. She gets the stuff done that maybe we struggle at doing. So just look at us as a whole team. We're totally awesome. No one can compete with us if we keep working that way. So I started looking for words, and I was going to write down a bunch of stuff and come up with this nice, speech and what the heck. I'm just going to give you what comes to my heart with a few little notes here and there to kind of remind me to stay on track. But this year has been tough, and I'm one of those that I think back a lot and look at things to find some happiness in there somewhere or something positive. And I started thinking back in 2018, 2019, we were traveling, we were working, we had skill contests, we had classes we had to go see, we had to go VTUs and ETUs and all this stuff that we were doing. We were on airplanes and hotels, restaurants and bars and all the stuff that we were doing. It was normal life. It was fast. Things I remember hearing though, and most of you have heard this stuff before yourself. Man, I'll be glad when things slow down. I'll sure be glad. Things are moving way too fast. I wish it would just slow down. Man, I'm tired of traveling. I travel all the time. I'm just sick and tired of traveling. You know what? I'm just sick and tired of eating out all the time. I just want to eat at home. I want home cooked food. I'm tired of eating out. You know, man, I'm just exhausted. This rat race is just going too fast. I wish it would slow down. We're doing way too much, too quick, too fast. It's time to slow down. I just need a year, man, just to stay at home, just to get some things done, just to feel good and sleep in my own bed, etc. I kind of leave it there. You kind of get the message that during that time when we were in our groove and we were able to work and do the things that we wanted and meet and greet and have beverages with one another, we still found a way to complain about it. Whether it was honestly complaining or just being human to say, hey, you know, I like this, but I wish it wasn't like this all the time. Sometimes we have to be careful what we ask for. Because whatever your belief is or non-belief, sometimes we ask for things. Once we're given that, it might not be in the form that we wanted. We didn't put all the extra information and details in there and say, hey, I want to stay at home for a year, but I want it to be on my terms. That's the way it would work if we controlled it. We cannot control it. Right now, we're being a little bit controlled by a lot of different things, but if we stay within that lane of what we can control, what we can, take and influence, and quit worrying about this other stuff, we can grow, we can mature, we can actually get better mentally, physically, and as a team. Man, we'll really lay down some pavement if we get that harmony going. Because now that we've been faced with this pandemic, we've been given things that we asked for: less travel, more home time, less eating out, and say, I'm tired, exhausted, I just need a break. Some people's been forced to work from home since March. Here we're at the toward the end of December, going into 2021. There's no magic switch that's going to turn in 2021 at midnight, at 12:01 Eastern Standard Time, of course. Not Portland. We do things first. Nothing's going to change other than the calendar. We're going to go into next year with some unknowns coming out of the gate. There's things that look promising, things that we can be a part of, things that we want to help get training back going the way we want it, development to get back to the way we want it, managers doing things the way it used to be. Focus on the positives. Because when we hit 2021, by this time next year, I'm hoping I am singing a whole different tune with a bunch of folks in one room together, elbow to elbow, singing, drinking, whatever it may be, whatever the festival feelings are at that point. I'm hoping in 2022 or 2021 that we are looking at 2022 with clear glasses and going, wow, we're stronger because of what we just came through. We're better. Hard times make good people, believe it or not. Now, that doesn't mean that things have always been easy for 2020 for everyone. A lot of you dealt with things that shake anybody down. Some are still dealing with things. Health is the biggest thing. Thing that we can look back, if you have your health at the end of this year, be grateful, be happy. Be happy you got a job if you got a job. Things that take forward, because there's not everyone's on the same playing field when it comes to health and wellness right now. My stepdad used to always say, hey, bad luck is not always bad. That's kind of hard to take sometimes, but I try to live by it, because that means you have to look for positive in everything that you do, everything that you see. It's not always easy. Bad things are not always bad. Some have went through a lot harder times, bad times than others. I lost my grandmother of 94 years, March of this year. The pandemic was just really getting going. In fact, looking back, we all believe that's what she actually died of. We didn't know. It happened quick. It happened sudden. There was not enough information. There was not enough testing. Who knows? We can't control that now. Things we can control is her happy memories and her stories and the things that she taught us and all that goodwill. And going forward, you know, she passed away, and lo and behold, I had another family member that lost their house and needed a place to stay. They're now at Granny's house. So it's one bad thing that affected a lot of us, been a real positive to the person that didn't have a home at that time. I'll be honest, I miss the hugs and the kisses and the shaking of hands and all the stuff to go along with being an extrovert and an I personality. It's hard when all that's taken away from some of us. But you know what? We will get through it. Bad luck's not always bad. We just have to look for the things that we've learned from this. We learned that there's things that we miss. One thing kind of going forward, the way we look at this is words are very impactful, probably more so than ever now. How we say things to each other, when we say things to each other, is so important. And those are always equal by whatever the action is. So sometimes we get a little mixed message between action and words, and we don't feel like we're part of that team. What I like to kind of look at is, kind of look at 2020 as what we need to clean out of our own self to get us ready for 2021 to be a very successful year going forward into the next year and the next year, hopefully. I thought about that a lot when I'm cleaning up around my house, and in kind of anticipation of possibly selling here going up is, hey, I got to start getting rid of some stuff. I'm going to downsize. I don't have room for stuff. There's stuff in our life that we need to get rid of. Maybe we have hard feelings toward another coworker or another trainer or a developer or a manager or a customer in general we're holding on to. And I thought about that as I'm cleaning. I'm picking up things I've had for 15, 20 years, and like, Mike D, do you really need a one-wheel air compressor that hadn't run in 15 years? The answer was no. If I hadn't used it probably in a year, it's just stuff. I had to get rid of stuff. I got rid of a lot of stuff. I got on a roll. I got on a kick because I want to go into 2021 feeling, hey, I'm ready. I'm semi-rested in some aspects, but other aspects mentally, maybe I'm not so rested. I got to get rid of some stuff. I need to get myself ready for things that I can control, things I can influence. So looking at that, words do mean things. Action equals those words. So how do we move forward in 2020? What is a team? It's also been said there's no I in team. There's no I in beer either. It's meant to be shared. Meant to be open with each other. Learn each other's strengths, weaknesses. Try to stay on the nice list and not the naughty list of each other. Tones of words, how they're said, really make a difference. I'd like to see 2020, we go in as a team. We really have done phenomenal stuff within DTNA and the dealer network and things, making service training #1 in all of the world, basically. I don't think there's anything out there that in the heavy duty truck, medium duty truck market that can compare to what this group does day in, day out. That doesn't mean we're not struggling with things. I get phone calls, I get people concerned, I get people really on edge, rightly so, because we've made some changes in the structure of the rules that wasn't meant to hurt, but it was meant to make the group better. What's positive going out of this? Looking forward to 2021, we can say when we do get back to face-to-face, maybe that reduced student count in my classroom, well, that's a positive. Now I have more time to invest in these technicians coming in. Maybe one more one-on-one. Maybe that one tech that needs that to be more successful and retained by your group, you have time to deal with that person. The more we have, the less we can be that one-on-one person. So that's kind of one of those things we learn going forward. Sometimes less is better. Quality, not quantity, helps the whole group, because these trucks, I'm telling you, are not getting any less technical and harder to work on. Control what we can control. Influence what you can influence. That young mind that's in your seat. That one that you can make a difference to. That may be eager for learning, maybe not so eager, but you can influence that to your best. You can influence how they treat one another in the shop floor once we go forward. It's time to stop what we do with the strong survive in the shop and let's see how mean we can be to the new guy to see if we can run him off. No, it's time to embrace that person could be your replacement. Might not be as good as you or great as you or have the same personality or look like you or act like you, listen to the music like you. Doesn't matter. They're people, just like you. That's what we learn going forward is we can work on this together. Think about what might be faced with in 3 to 5 years. It's kind of hard to say this, but the at-home schooling that's been conducted by parents, or maybe even grandparents, or aunts and uncles, things it's out of that kid's control. They're no longer in the classroom being trained by a teacher or taught by a teacher. They're now being taught at home, on a laptop, a computer, Zoom, whatever it may be. It's a different world. Some of them might not make it out of that, which is sad. But silver lining, if there's a lot of skilled trade jobs that are available in this nations in North America. Those skilled trades are perfectly good jobs and careers for young people. So we might actually start seeing more and more influence of, hey, these young people are looking for a place to go once they get toward graduation. Maybe they don't have what they need to continue their education at this point. It was out of their control. But we can give them another avenue. We can give them a positive place to come, learn a trade that they can depend on. Because during the pandemic, trucks kept running. They kept going. We kept going. So I kind of want to end on that is to say, not only did each of you work very hard this year and had to change the course of your life, change the course of your training, deliver things by other means that you're not used to, like Zoom and videos and aftermarket TVs, and we realize that some of us are not really happy with the way we sound when we video ourselves. It's not about that, it's about the message. Let's bring a positive spin to this. What can we possibly bring forward into 2021 as a group? Well, I'm going to tell you, I am so happy that we have 2 councils right now, engine and vehicle, that work as a team with STA. They work with me, they work with Leston, Chuck, Dragon, Jody, and Mallet, and all of us, the Archangels, everyone. That group is so supportive of working as a team to make things happen. So I kind of started feeling some stress and anxiety within the group or groups of that certification requirement that we put out. For every 12 months, you have to teach a class to stay certified. And we tried to work with it, or I did, tried to massage it to kind of keep people going, thinking that maybe we would be kind of heading out of things quicker than what we are. That was the positive part of Mike D. It's like, hey, let's kind of put this in there right now, but we might have to come back and change it. Things are fluid right now. Things keep changing. There is nothing that I can really say is I can depend on just as you. But I control what I can control, influence what I can. And that's something all of us together influence, saying, hey, maybe we need to relook at this and this certification thing and kind of just give everyone the end of year. Here is what we're going to do for you to help calm you down, relax you, to focus on getting back to normal. I know you're ready to get back to normal. I know I'm ready to get back to normal. So looking at that, we drafted this together. Joint committees, DTNA, myself, and the development team. And Chuck Lewis really helped me with this. Chuck's phenomenal what he does, as everyone else in that group does. I'm going to read it to you, and it will be posted later in a format. And this is going to be on, of course, Aftermarket TV, but I'll post this document and as a fix for right now. Due to the current health crisis, many trainers in the network have been unable to fulfill training needs and maintain certified to teach authorizations, CTT. The Service Training Academy, STA, is understanding of this issue and developed a plan to ease CTT restrictions based upon the circumstances. Those circumstances are not in your control. They're not in my control. They're not in your control. We don't even have the ability to influence those. So we want to help the whole group. Below are the guidelines. If you were an active trainer and also CTT, certified to teach, a class of either 2019 or 2020, CTT for the class continues into 2021. So in other words, you don't have to worry about you expiring and not having the ability to train and teach. I want to help, as well as the committees want to help ease your mind. To maintain CTT into 2022, each class you are a CTT must be taught no later than December 20th, 2021. So this gives us some room. And if we need later to influence this a little different way, we can look at it. But we really want to put this out there and say, hey, let's shoot for this. Let's get everyone through the hard process that we have probably in the next 6 to 8 months and kind of look at what we can get into. After teaching a class in 2021, the once a year requirement is reinstated for that class moving forward. So once you teach it, we reinstate it, so therefore you're set for another 12 months at that point. And we kind of hope that helps a lot. This proposal applies to each class that CTT is held individually. In other words, it's not a blanket. We don't blanket coverage all your classes. So if you're a vehicle trainer, we're not going to take all your classes into the same consideration. If we look at your class and when you ran out of certification and it was well before COVID, that requirement is going to be a little different than if COVID impacted what you do. Because there were some things you could control yourself prior to COVID that might not have been done. We were pretty relaxed, STA was, on that certification process. What we wanted to do was build a group, a stronger, better group, all working toward a common goal of being stronger, better, and developing quality product out. So with that said, that's going to be posted. I just want to wish each of you a very, very good end of the year. Some of us say Merry Christmas. Some of us say Happy Hanukkah. Some say Happy Holidays. Whatever it is that you do, however you enjoy this time of year, however you reflect, do it with peace in your heart and know that if we treat each other better going 2021, there's nothing that can stand in the way of this group. You guys are awesome. You're great to work with. It's a pleasure to be kind of the liaison between trainers and the developer. I will do better myself next year with my tones, my actions, my oversights of some things, my taking on too much responsibility and doing a lot of stuff but not being good at any of it. I'm just going to say for all of you, I love y'all. Cheers to you all, and have a great holiday time. Enjoy.